Hey, I'm Emily from emilybankscreative.com. If you're new here, welcome. It's good to see you. And if you've been around for a while, hello again. Today I wanted to talk to you about taking breaks from your business, and more specifically, why I took what is probably now about a 2-month break from my business that I'm only just returning to. This was by no means a holiday or a vacation where I was like, oh, I've done so much great work, I deserve a break. It wasn't like that at all. This break was terrifying, it was stressful, but it was necessary. I don't think that these kind of breaks are talked about enough in this little sphere universe of online business that we do. There's this sort of common trajectory with online business where it starts out as like you're starting a business and then like you sort of gain some traction and then you release something that's super successful and you do way better than you ever thought you would ever do, and then you book a holiday in Fiji because you deserve it. For me, the past year could not have been further from that. One of the things I hate most about doing business online is that most of the time we only get to see the curated, beautiful, wonderful things that happen to people. We see the successes because people want to talk about them, and we don't see the hard times that everyone goes through. We don't see when people are struggling because they don't want to put that out into the world. It's something that we definitely need to talk more about to kind of stop people from hiding and feeling shameful and horrible all by themselves. It's something that we can help support each other with and lift each other up. In late July, early August, I put my foot down and said, enough is enough. I am walking away from my business. For those of you who don't know, I have, for much longer than I've been running my business, struggled with depression and anxiety. This is stuff that I've been diagnosed with, managed in the past. It's something that never goes away, unfortunately. There have been periods of my life where it has affected me very minimally, and I have been able to do everything just as any sort of normal, capable person should be able to do. And then there have been periods of my life where the biggest struggle of my day is getting out of bed. Some people won't understand that. If it's never happened to you, it might sort of feel incomprehensible as to how someone could just struggle so hard to even get up in the morning. But at my worst, that's a very real problem for me. Late last year, my business was really starting to take off. I was booking in a lot of clients. I was working on some digital products that I was really excited about. And I sort of started working on all of this through January, and then in about February I started to feel my anxiety go up, my depression go up, and I kind of thought, it's okay, everything's going fine, you'll be alright, just keep powering through it and you'll be fine, is what I told myself. And it's a funny thing to kind of tell yourself, because when you have the flu or even something more serious, if you have a really serious physical illness, you might tell yourself, okay, like I'm still gonna try and do some things, but I'm gonna take it really easy and not put too much pressure on myself. But oftentimes with mental illness, we sort of don't have that logical filter that says, hey, maybe it's time to take it easy and focus on some self-help and some self-care and fix this problem before it gets bigger. Between March and June, July, I was on a serious downhill. I let down so many people. I let down you guys, my audience, because I wasn't here for you. I would jump in when I felt good and was like, hey guys, here's some cool branding information. And then I would just be totally exhausted and overwhelmed and go back to fighting my depression and anxiety. I missed deadlines, it was terrible, and the more this happened, the worse I felt. So it just kind of kept snowballing, and I felt so out of control of my own body. A big part of me knew that I should probably stop and try and sort things out, but another part of me was saying, you can't stop doing this, like you're gonna make no money, like everyone's gonna walk away from your business and not want to have anything to do with you. If you leave, you're just gonna look like a flake that's just not reliable. And these are all things that I used to keep pushing myself forward, even though I was doing terrible work and I was hurting myself. It's really hard for me to sit here and admit to you that I have done terrible work this year, because part of me says, if you tell them that, like who's ever going to want to work with you ever again? That's not the sort of thing that you should advertise to your audience. But openness and honesty are things that I really value, both personally and in my business. I have been unreliable. I have been all over the place this year, and if that has been confusing or irritating or anything else, if that has impacted you as a person in my audience in any way, I am really, truly sorry. I wasn't showing up for you and I feel terrible about it. And the lesson I kind of want to share from this is that not looking after yourself can be one of the biggest time wasters and like time vortexes that you can ever expose yourself to in your business. I couldn't work on fixing my depression and my anxiety because I was so stressed that if I walked away from the business, everything would just crumble. But I couldn't work on fixing the business because my depression and my anxiety just kept getting in the way. I'm really lucky that I have a really wonderful group of people around me that are so supportive of me. And it came to a point where some of them said, Emily, I really think you need to stop and sort this out. And I said to them at the time, I said, I can't stop. I need to keep doing this. If I stop, everything's just going to be ruined. Everyone's going to leave me. No one's going to care about what I do or in my business. It's all going to end. That was terrifying to me, and it kind of still is. Like making this video for you today saying, hey, I'm sorry, I've been really shit this year, but I'm back and I'm trying to be better for you guys is still scary to me. It was probably the most difficult decision I've had to make in business so far, but having sort of come out the other side of it, it was the best thing I could have done. I took 2 months off. I went back to my doctors, to my psychologists. I started working on me and fixing the issues that only I could fix and kind of building back up to actually feeling like myself again. When you're right in the thick of it, it's really hard to kind of see any kind of light at the end of the tunnel. It's so hard to see how you could ever possibly feel better. You get so used to feeling the anxiety and the pressure and like just the crushing weight of being depressed that you forget that there is a way of existing that doesn't have to feel like that. And even now, I'm not in a place where I can say everything is fantastic and I'm super healthy and I'm ready to do all this great stuff with my business and it's just going to be onwards and upwards from here. It might not go exactly like that. As of today, right now, recording this, I'm in a better place than I was. I'm in a place where I can look after myself and I can recognize the things that I'm struggling with. I'm slowly easing my way back into work and doing it in a way that is manageable and practical for where I'm at right now in my life. I've got some really cool things planned for you that I am really hoping are going to help you out with some of the branding problems that you might have. It's been a long time coming, but I feel like now I'm actually capable of creating them in a way that will actually help you guys. So if anything I've said kind of resonates with you, if you've had a similar experience this year, it might not be with depression or anxiety or mental illness, it might be situational. If you've been feeling totally drained and like you don't know what to do and that you're not doing your best work with your business, I would encourage you to see if, even if it's just for a week, just take that time and focus that time on yourself and on healing and getting better. We can only best serve our people when we are our best selves, and I was not my best self this year. I mean, it's September now, coming up on October, which is terrifying to me to think that this whole year has just been crazy, but I'm choosing to focus on the couple of months that I have left to turn this around. I want you to know that it's important that if this is you and you need to take this kind of time off, not to look at this as some kind of failure or that you failed your business. It's definitely hard to look at it that way. And on the day that I said I'm taking the time off, I felt like a failure. Over these last couple of months of getting my shit back together and figuring things out, I've come to see it as a learning experience and learning what I'm capable of and what I'm not capable of and how I should best run things to make sure that everything works for me and that I can do my best job for you. And yeah, I've failed to do many of the things that I had planned for my business this year, but that doesn't mean that I'm a failure as a person. It doesn't mean that my business is a failure. It just means that some things I tried to do this year didn't work and I've learned from them, and I'm hopefully going to be able to move forward in a way that means I can do my best work. So whether you've been here for a long time or if you stumbled in at some point this year while I was totally breaking down. Hi. It's really good to actually finally talk to you and be back because I missed it. I'm really excited about the things I've got planned for you, and I'm really excited. Can't wait to share them with you soon. This might be a weird thing to say or to ask for, but if you've had a rough time this year, if you've messed up the stuff you wanted to do, if things have happened to you and gotten in the way of your business, I'd love to hear about it. Email me or hit me up on like Twitter or Instagram or anywhere that I hang out. Only if you're comfortable with sharing. If you're not comfortable with sharing things, that's fine. But I feel like people are always saying like, hey, if you had a great experience using this product or doing this thing this year, let me know so I can feature you. And I'm not going to feature you anywhere, don't worry about that. I think it's important that we start sharing the bad times as well as the wonderful, fantastic business times. It's important that we don't feel alone, especially when we're struggling. So if that's you right now, I'd love to hear from you. And I can't promise that I will say anything that makes it better for you, but I think it's important that we don't feel alone. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk soon. Bye.